Tonight you're sitting on your toilet. It's clean. You press a button and everything disappears instantly. But for almost all of human history, that moment didn't exist. This video takes you back to a time when going to the bathroom meant something completely different. A world where poop was dangerous, privacy was rare, and bathroom habits shaped entire civilizations. What did ancient people actually do when they needed to poop? Why did some civilizations build toilets while others just went outside? And what hidden health crisis have we forgotten because modern toilets solved it? From Roman bathhouses to medieval castles, from ancient Egypt to Viking settlements, this story reveals how bathroom habits built empires, killed populations, and created the modern bathroom we barely think about. What if the toilet you're sitting on right now is one of the most important inventions in human history? You've probably never thought about this. When did humans first start using toilets? Was it natural? Did we just go wherever we were? The answer is stranger than you think. 10,000 years ago, during the first agricultural settlements, poop became a problem. Before that, when humans were hunter-gatherers, it wasn't a crisis. You moved around. You went in the woods. Nature handled it. But when you start living in one place with thousands of other people, poop accumulates. And accumulated poop kills. It spreads disease, cholera, typhoid, diarrhea. The diseases that wiped out entire civilizations. So ancient people had to figure something out. And they did. But not all of them figured it out the same way. In ancient Egypt, around 3000 BC, people used simple pits. They dug holes in the ground behind their homes, covered it with sand. That was their bathroom. Privacy was minimal. Health was risky. But it worked, until it didn't. Because when the pit filled up, you had to dig a new one or move. Ancient Mesopotamia, around 4000 BC, was different. They built something incredible, the first known plumbing system. They had clay pipes, drainage, toilets connected to sewage channels running under their cities. This was 2000 years before Rome, 3000 years before modern toilets. But why did Mesopotamia figure this out while others didn't? Because they understood something critical. Poop isn't just waste. It's a weapon. And if you don't control it, it will destroy you. Let me tell you about Rome. 100 AD, the Roman Empire, the most powerful civilization on Earth. And they had something amazing, public toilets. Not just one, but hundreds across the entire empire. These were marble seats connected to flowing water, connected to massive sewage systems called the Cloaca Maxima. People sat together, talked together, pooped together. No privacy, none. Because Romans didn't think privacy was necessary for bathroom use. They thought community was everything. But here's the problem, those public toilets spread disease. Everyone sat on the same marble. The same water channeled waste away, but it also spread bacteria. And Rome died from it. Not just from wars, not just from invaders, but from poop. From the diseases that their own bathroom system created. Scientists have studied Roman sewage and found parasites, bacteria, and the exact pathogens that killed millions, the same pathogens that modern toilets prevent. But Rome didn't know that. They thought they were advanced. They thought they were clean. They were wrong. Medieval Europe, 1000 AD, was completely different. They didn't have toilets. They had chambers, rooms built over rivers, over moats, over drops. You sat, you went, it fell into the water below. Castle owners did this. Nobles did this. Common people? They just went outside, in the streets, in the fields, wherever. London, 1300 AD, had a problem. The Thames River was full of poop. Everyone was dumping waste into it. Everyone was drinking from it. And cholera spread. The entire city got sick because they didn't understand what poop does. They didn't understand that water carries disease. They didn't understand that privacy matters, not for morality, for survival. Ancient China, 2000 BC, was different again. They had stoves, pits, systems where poop was collected and used as fertilizer. They understood the cycle, waste becomes food, food becomes waste. It was circular. It was sustainable. But it was also dangerous. Because if you don't process poop correctly, it spreads disease. And ancient China had diseases, massive outbreaks. Millions died. Not from war, from bathroom habits. Viking settlements, 800 AD, Sweden and Norway, had lash pits, simple holes dug deep, covered with wood. Private. Safe. Basic. But effective. Because Vikings understood something Romans didn't: privacy matters. Not for shame, for health. When you're alone, you're not spreading bacteria to others. When you're alone, you're not sitting on surfaces others touched. When you're alone, you're protecting yourself. And that's the invention we forgot. The invention that modern toilets gave us, not just the plumbing, but the privacy. The isolation, the separation, the understanding that bathroom use is individual, not communal. Medieval monks, 1200 AD England, had something incredible: garderobes. Rooms built into castle walls with chutes dropping waste into rivers below. Private. Individual. Safe. But only for the wealthy. Common people? They still went outside, in the streets, in the alleys, wherever. And disease spread because poop doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It spreads equally. It kills equally. The Islamic Golden Age, 800 AD Baghdad, had advanced plumbing. They had private bathrooms, running water, sewage systems. They understood hygiene. They understood that cleanliness prevents disease. They wrote about it, taught it, built it. And their cities stayed healthy while Europe died. Because Europe didn't understand poop. They thought it was dirty, not dangerous. They thought it was shameful, not deadly. They were wrong. The Renaissance, 1500 AD, Europe started figuring it out. Private bathrooms appeared in castles, palaces, wealthy homes. But common people? Still outside. Still in streets. Still dying. Because privacy wasn't available to everyone. Only the rich had private bathrooms. Common people still went outside and disease continued because one toilet doesn't stop an epidemic. Millions of toilets do. The 17th century, 1600 AD, England. The first flush toilet was invented by Sir John Harington. It had a tank, a valve, water that flushed waste away. But only one person had it: the rich, the powerful, not the poor, not the common. And disease continued. The 19th century, 1800 AD, that changed. Industrial revolution, mass production, public health movements. Cities started building sewage systems. Toilets became common. Privacy became standard. And disease decreased. Cholera stopped. Typhoid decreased. Diarrhea became rare. Because we understood what ancient Mesopotamia understood: poop is a weapon, and if you control it, you control death. Modern toilets, 1900 AD to now, are incredible. Warm water, automatic flush, everything. But we forgot something. We forgot why we have them. We think it's convenience. It's not. It's survival. Every time you sit on your toilet, you're using an invention that prevents disease, saves lives, killed civilizations when they didn't have it. Rome, London, medieval Europe, they all died from poop, not from war, from bathroom habits. Think about your own bathroom. When did you first use a toilet? Age 3, age 4? Did you ever think about what happened before that, before toilets existed, before privacy existed, before we understood that poop spreads disease? Your ancestors died from it. Millions of them, children, adults, entire families, because they didn't have what you have: a toilet, a private space, a system that flushes waste away and prevents disease. That's the invention we barely think about, the toilet. But it's one of the most important in human history because it saves lives every day, every time you use it, every time you press the button and waste disappears instantly without you thinking about it. That's the miracle, not the plumbing, but the forgetting. The ability to forget that poop exists. Because when you forget it exists, you don't spread it. You don't touch it. You don't drink water contaminated by it. You don't get sick. And that's what modern toilets gave us. Not convenience, but health, safety, survival. Ancient people didn't have that. They had pits, rivers, outside, public seats. They had disease, death, entire civilizations collapsing because they didn't understand poop. We do. And that's why we're still here. Tonight, when you're in your bathroom, sitting on your toilet, pressing the button, don't forget. This isn't just convenience. This is survival. This is the invention that saved millions, that killed civilizations when they didn't have it, that we barely think about but should. Because ancient Mesopotamians knew something we barely remember. Poop is a weapon, and if you control it, you control death. And if this made you think, hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment telling us when you first realized toilets were important for health, not just convenience.